So let's do this, shall we? We're going to we're going to jump from assign volunteer 3, which we just did, and we're going to do assign volunteer 4. Okay. Again, if we look at our code that we already did, this is the code that we had before. I'm going to clear that. Same concept, same everything. What we're going to do with this is, well, actually, let me bounce back really quick here, I think, and find it, just so you know what we're doing. We're going to use a switch statement. And all the switch statement is, it's an alternative to using a whole bunch of if statements. So you can do if statements. You can do if then else if then else if then else if then else if. You can keep doing that, like I just did in my code. So I did an if statement. I did if, else if, and then else. You can do something like that, or you can use what's called a switch statement. From an execution standpoint, they say potentially that a switch statement operates faster, moves faster. I don't know. It's negligible at what we do. So what it does is a quick test. Switch starts it, and then the case statements in there, you've got case statements that will go through there, and then you have a break. So here's a simple example. You have a switch statement. So based on the year, it's going to drop through one of these. So when this comes in, it's going to hit one of these. It's a 1, a 2, or 3, or 4. Or if they didn't enter any of those, just like we did before, it's going to just come out with some default. Okay. Usually you want to have a default, but you see how nice and clean this is? This is really nice. It's laid out pretty nice like that. Within each case statement, you've got a break. It breaks it up like so. But that's it. You could do the same thing with if then else. You can say if then, if year equals 1, do this. Else, if year equals 2, do this. Else, if year equals, you get it? So it's a little bit more cumbersome, I think. This is a much cleaner approach. Best practice, it just depends what you're doing. Again, I like the switch statement. If you have multiple, usually the idea is if you've got one or two like we just did in our code here, right there, it's not a big deal. Then if else statements work fine. But when you've got multiples, then you got to kind of make a decision. You got to analyze that and figure out if that works best for you. Okay, so let's do this. That's it. That's your if then else. That's your switch statement. So wasn't that tough? Yes. All right. There's just a couple things you have to know about. They're convenient when you're alternating. Again, a reasonable number of specific matching needs to be tested. So let's do this. We're going to do assign volunteer 4. So we're going to take assign volunteer 3 we just did. I'm going to change this to 4. And I'm going to do a file, save as. And I already have it. I'm just going to overwrite mine and redo it. Save over. Okay. So now this is assign volunteer 4. And I'll put today's date down. All right. Okay. So everything kind of stays the same. The whole structure, all this, none of this changes. That's just so lovely. I feel bad for anybody trying to watch this video. It's going to have all that background noise. Okay. A couple things we have to add. Remember what I talked about before? What does it mean when you put this in front of a variable? It's a constant. It doesn't change. It doesn't change, right? So it doesn't change. So the book wants us to make a couple other ones. So I'm going to go down here. I'll go below the message, and I'm going to add a couple more. I'm going to do final, and they want us to do an integer, and this is going to be furniture code. Furniture underscore code. Again, they like to do caps when you do constants. Another one, final. This is going to be electronics code. Like so is equal to, this will be equal to 3. And last one, final, int other underscore code equal 4. Just stay with me for this and the next one, and then I'll let you guys work, okay? We can do review, we can talk about stuff, whatever you want to do. So yeah, so then we will do the midterm on Friday, okay? I'll send an email to remind everybody because it seems like the following week is just chaos. Okay, 2 more. We're going to go back to the furniture pricer. Retain the 2 pricing stickers and add 2 new ones. Okay, so we're going to do 2 new pricing So I'm going to go back up here where the other pricing is. And I'm going to go up here. I'm going to say final string. This is going to be the furniture pricer. Ooh. Furniture pricer. And who is that? That is Walter. What a lucky guy. And final string. This is, I guess, G, the electronics pricer. Right? And this is going to be who? Lydia. Okay. So we got that different pricers. We got the constants in there. Clothing, other, furniture, electronics. So as you can see, you're probably going to have 4 different options, possibly 5. You'll have a default. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Okay. So it says replace the output statement that asks the user to enter a 1 or a 2. So here you've got system, you've got this message here that says what type of donation is this? I'll make this bigger so you can see it better. Okay. So it asks what kind of donation is this? And then what I'm going to do is instead of where it says enter a 1 or a 2 here, I'm going to comment this out. I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to comment it out. And I'm going to do what the book suggests. Remember, I told you I'm kind of anal about that. I don't like to lose stuff. They want you to do system.out.print, enter an integer. Okay, like so. So enter an integer. So below that, that doesn't change. That stays the same. Donation type is still going to be an integer. It's going to be input next int, so that doesn't change. None of that changes. Okay. So far we've added a couple of strings, final constants here for Walter and Lydia. We've entered codes, furniture, electronics, and other code here. We've entered those guys. And then we entered this. We replaced that. And we commented out this line above it. Okay? And now the piece de resistance. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, again, this is what I like to do, is I'm going to just comment this whole thing out. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to do a slash star. That all becomes red. And I'm going to do a star slash. So now that's all commented out. The whole if else statement, that's all commented out. Okay. So that whole section is I'm going to leave it in there. I'm just going to comment it out. I'm also going to compile this. I haven't compiled it just to make sure everything compiles okay. Make sure I didn't mess up something. And it works. It still compiles. Now you could run it, but it's not going to do anything. Oh, I have an error. What do I have in my error? I have an error. What is it? Other code, final int other code. What did I do? Oh. Oh, interesting. Other code up there is equal to 2. I guess we could keep that. Why do we, all right. Well, I'm going to go up and I'm going to change that then. I'm going to comment out this one up here because I want the other code. I want 2 to use that. So other code is 4. So I commented that out up there. Let's try it again. Let me compile it again, make sure it works okay. Again, this is why I like to compile as I go along because, oh, there we go again. What is it saying? Volunteer. Oh. And that's fine. It's okay. We're getting this error, and that's fine because we haven't created the new switch statement yet. So that's okay. So don't worry about it. So come back up here, and now we're going to do the switch statement. All right? All right. This is what we do. This is what we do to write our code. We like to type in letters and numbers. Switch. And what is the switch based off of? It's based off of donation type. Open curly. Close curly. Yes. Okay. And then we're going to do our case statements. And then it's all case statements from here, right? Is do case, and then a default. The first one will be case. And it's going to be the ones we just created. So it'll be clothing code, which is number 1. with clothing code, like so. And then you do a colon at the end of it, okay? We don't have to do any code yet. We can just do this, and then we do a break. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste these lines. So you can set up the structure. Once you set up the structure, you can go back and you can put stuff in. So we have clothing, we have furniture, we have electronics, and then the other, there'll be other, and then there'll be default. And guess what? Default, I'm glad you asked, default does not have a break on it. Okay? And that's it. So now we got to go back and we got to fix this. So clothing code is the first one. Then we have furniture code is the second one. There are four. Electronics code is the third one. And then other code is the fourth one. So we'll have clothing, furniture, electronics, and other code. So we've got the four codes in there, okay? And then break. So now we're going to go back up here to the first one, clothing code, and I have to do the volunteer again. So volunteer is equal to who? The clothing pricer. Again, I like to copy and paste. So clothing pricer is clothing, that's clothing pricer. Okay, and then the message. What does the message equal? A clothing donation. Furniture. Okay, and this one, the volunteer again. Volunteer is going to equal what? So the furniture code is going to be the furniture pricer. Okay, that's the furniture pricer. And then again, the message is going to equal a furniture donation, like so. Okay. Notice we don't have the other right there, but that until later. So we've got the clothing pricer, we've got the furniture pricer. Guess what? Now we need the electronics pricer, right? So volunteer is equal to what? Electronics pricer, which is Lydia. Lydia. Okay. And then message, what's the message they want to say? Just the electronics, an electronics donation. Like so. Okay. All right, and then finally, the last piece of that is going to be the other one. That's the other pricer, and that'll be Marco. Marco's not left out. Marco's cool. So we're going to go down here to other code. We're going to say volunteer is equal to other pricer. And again, the message is going to equal, what do they want? Just another donation type. Like so. So we've got our four set up. We've got clothing, break. We've got furniture, break. We've got electronics, you've got break. Other code, you've got break. Okay? The default, the last one we're going to do, and this is kind of what we did before, is we're going to make it so that if they don't enter any of those, it's a problem. It comes up with an error. So the volunteer is going to be what? You could create your own constant if you want, but we're just going to, they have you enter text, and they just say invalid, which is fine. It's not very friendly, but that's fine. And then the message, what do they have you say? They have you say an invalid donation type. Again, this is your program. You can make it nice and friendly. You could do, I know some of you do that already. I've had students who kind of tell you you're going to go blast off into the black hole somewhere. We're going to get you, cast you off a bridge. And that's it. Make it a little smaller so you can see it better. I'm going to compile it. Let's make sure it compiles. It compiles. Okay. And then let's run it. Let's clear it. Let's run it. Okay. You guys okay back there? I know Ben's ready for like another snow. What's going on, Deborah? All right, so let's try. What you want to do normally when you test it is you want to try each one and other ones are right. So we'll try one first. Make sure it works. You entered one, volunteers Regina. Is that correct? What you want to do is just go check your code to make sure that's correct. Right? Yep, it is right. So then you want to do it again. So when we get into looping, you'll see how looping makes it so much easier. Because right now you got to keep running it. Integer, the default. There you go. No problem. So that's 2 is Walter. That's a furniture donation. 3 should be electronics. Lydia's electronics. 4 should be another donation type. That should be Marco as 4. It's another donation type. And then finally, I'll enter something just like whatever. It doesn't matter. 99999. And it just tells me it's been valid. So that's good. Okay. If I enter -1, invalid. So that still works that way too. Okay. Okay, so the and. Can you see that? Is that that's not too big? Let's try it this way, a little bit bigger. Let's do 36. There's big. So the and. Double ampersand. Here's a really simple way to think about it. You can do 2 sets of things. I can do parentheses and I can say this. I can say if 4 is less than 7 and if 5 is less than 6. All right, I can spread this out. It doesn't matter. Spacing doesn't matter. It's just what I'm doing. All right, so I look at this and I look at the first one. I say, I come down here and I say, is 4 less than 7? Is that true or false? Is 4 less than 7? That's true, right? So that's true. Here, just so you can, true. All right. Is 5 less than 6? That's true. So then what happens? The whole thing becomes true. All right. Not true. Ah! All right. Let's do another one. Same thing. We're going to do this. I'll do that. Is 4 less than 7? Still true. Is 8 less than 6? That becomes false. If there's one false, the whole thing is false. Okay, now that's the and. That's it. That's in a nutshell. It becomes more complex when you're dealing with bigger statements and you kind of have to map them out. And what you do, like everything, keep it simple. You go inside out. You make it simple, like just like I had here. I did this piece first, and then I did this piece first, and then I evaluated them together against each other. That's all you do, okay? So now let's do the same thing. I don't want to do that. I want to do it. Give me another notepad. No, I don't want Notepad++. Well, let's do this. Why does it have to be so hard? So difficult. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh, what's my format? What's my font? I thought I just had it. 36. All right. So now we're going to do the same thing. This time we're going to do an OR, and I'll put them side by side so you can see them. This time it's an OR. The OR is of 2 vertical pipes. All right. I'll do something similar. I'm going to come here. So first of all, I'm going to say is 4. I'll do the same thing. Is 4 less than 7? It's false, right? Is 5 less than 6? I mean, it's true. 4 is less than 7. I'm sorry. 4 is less than 7, right? So that's true. Is 5 less than 6? True. So the whole thing is true. All right. Let's do it one more time. 4 less than 7. We'll stay at that. We'll say 4 less than 7 is true. But then we'll do, oh, you guys yell at me. It's OR. It's OR. Okay. So that's true. Is 8 less than 6? True or false? False, right? However, in the OR world, I need at least one of them to be true. for the entire thing to be true. So now I get one true, so now the result is true. See the difference? So depending on what you're evaluating, you want to look at it and decide if I'm going to use a Boolean AND or if I'm going to use an OR statement. So depending on what it is.